our scope still premium.
Okay,
I'm going to
yes.
switch to that at some point too. But I like these graphics.
Oh yeah, hot weather. I'll go switch to velocity here so you can see the three tornadoes.
I'll
that
be a minute just setting up. I think we are now live now.
We are.
Uh, Hi, everybody. I think we're about to be live. I think we're live now. Are we live? This is Comedeorological Reports, Comedy Plus Meteorology. Comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada and the United States today. Yeah. Uh,
Wild day. Rough night in Ohio, especially. Yeah.
Take it away for a minute there, Brandon, while I set up.
All right. So yeah, we do have a couple of tornado warnings that are on the go as of 7:33 Mountain Time. That would be 9:33 Eastern Time. We've got a tornado warning out for this area of in Ohio, Licking, Ohio there. Tornado and quarter-size hail. That's storms moving into Newark, something like that. So that is a supercell way. Hold on. We're going to put the velocity on here. Supercell. And we'll show you the velocity of these two major supercells that produce some big tornadoes. You can see, hold on, we'll try to scroll down. There's one here, very large tornado from earlier, and another one, very strong tornado signature that went through Ohio this evening. Major damage has been reported from both of these storms so far this evening. And we've got another tornado warning still on the go at Urbana, Ohio, and still some rotation on that storm. So some major tornadoes have touched down tonight in Ohio. Then we've got another severe warning cell that also produced a tornado in Arkansas. So I'm going to go, hold on, we clicked the wrong button. Those are the warnings. As you can see here, so we've got our tornado warning here at Saline, Arkansas, radar indicated. Tornado warning out for Champaign, Ohio. Once again, that's the radar indicated, and then that's the tornado warning for Licking, Ohio at this time. About 36 severe thunderstorm warnings are out, and this is part of the list of those active warnings that are still in effect as of 7:33 Mountain Daylight Time. And now we're going to go check on the storm in Arkansas that is tornado warned, and this one is just outside of Hot Springs here. You can see it right there. There's the rotation. And yeah, that is a very nasty storm. Still has some strong rotation. Did produce a tornado not too long ago. And it is, well, still likely to produce a tornado. See if what did I do here? Okay. I want to change to reflectivity to get a good idea where the storm is at. And this is near Hot Springs. Yeah, right. There's the storm right there, actually. So that's the supercell here that's producing a tornado as of right now. Did produce a tornado. Still some strong rotation and up to baseball-sized hail. And that storm is heading right towards just outside of Little Rock, Arkansas here in the next half hour or so. So still that potential for, yeah, still some strong rotation in that thing. I'm going to go to base velocity here. And yeah, kind of hard to see in this. Yeah, right in there. That's where the rotation's at. Could be a tornado. That did produce a tornado, actually. And then up to baseball-sized hail. So some very dangerous storms tonight across most of the United States. But those are the three that are tornado warned as of 7:33 so far.
I've got the mesoscale discussion here lined up. We're looking at Dayton, Ohio, Springfield, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and then crossing over into Pennsylvania, going towards New York, towards New Philadelphia. That particular series of storms. And I can put us up there now. Hey, Hilden, good to see you. Here we are. So that just gives us kind of a large look. And then here's the other one. So that's what I was saying to Brandon was for a number of hours this afternoon, I wasn't really able to pay attention too much. But every time I check in briefly, what I would see would be a large area. So there would be a tornado warning happening. 1, 2, 3, or 4 tornado warnings any given time that I checked in. and they would be anywhere from warnings for anywhere from Oklahoma up to Missouri, you know, all the way up into Illinois. And now we're starting to see into Ohio as well, and now we're starting to see Indiana, Ohio, especially this evening. So really happening.
Oh yeah. Yep, lots of I'll read the report from Logan County Public Safety. Looks like there could be some casualties in that one tornado from Logan County. Tornado damage reported across the county. Possible trailer park was hit and a collection point being established. Reported house fire in Russell's Point. Multiple accidents reported and power lines down all over the county. So definitely a rough night tonight. That is, still that rotation on that supercell there. Fairly broad now, but that is still broad out. Not as tight as it was before, but still that's one of the same storms that crossed over Ohio that produced one of those major tornadoes from earlier, and still packing a punch up to quarter size hail with that supercell as it tracks its way into Utica, St. Louisville, Hanover areas there. And then the other storm, that one's really picked up rotation as well, heading into Urbana. So still strong rotation on that one as well, yeah. Moving into town. There. Looks like...
Yes, I've been... no, wait. Isn't Urbana in Illinois? Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been to, there's a town there called Normal. It's like a sister town. There's...
Oh, this one's in Ohio. Yeah. And then there's...
Urbana, Ohio. Yeah, okay.
Illinois as well. Sometimes they have, like, the same name towns in different states. So I think there's, like, 5 states.
Yeah, okay, I see.
We're Brandon in there.
Quite a ways east there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yes, and then multiple severe thunder. There was one storm earlier that produced straight line winds of 80 miles an hour, which is 130 clicks an hour, something like that, kilometers that were blasted through Missouri earlier tonight. So that was that. And then plus the very large hail has been the big concern across all of these states. So everywhere has had severe thunderstorms, had to deal with the hail. Some areas up to the size of baseballs tonight.
The green is flash flood warnings.
Oh yeah,
Ozark
area.
They had tornado on the ground in Ozark today, did they?
Yep.
So that's all we have currently. That one looks better.
Oh yeah, that's one at Hot Springs there. That did produce, that was a tornado about half an hour ago. Has broadened out a little bit, but still holding its structure. And that one's producing baseball size hail right now.
I could imagine it get its act together.
Oh yeah. Could pick up steam again as it gets close to Little Rock there. So
well, it's certainly got
through the show.
It's got the nice inflow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that clear slot there.
That little slot that we call is the bear's cage. You do not want to be, if you're ever chasing in severe weather, you do not want to be caught in the bear's cage between
it's coming
baseball-sized hail and possible tornadoes.
It's probably coming for you. You're going to get those rear flanking winds, rear flanking downdrafts coming from in here. That's where the most powerful winds are going to start hitting you from.
Oh yeah, and then
almost absolutely. Yes, and then whatever wraps around with that. Speaking of hail, you said there's baseball. I mean, well, you can definitely see there's something fucked up going on in there.
Oh yeah, big time hail. Big time. Most of these storms have produced a lot of hail today, and yesterday too. That Kansas City areas outside of Kansas City saw softball size hail. So,
whoa.
So yeah, some of the hail is about this big, just for perspective.
That's not a softball. That's a hard ball, isn't it?
That's it's pretty soft. I can squeeze it. It's like a squeeze toy,
Yeah, that doesn't
for your
necessarily mean.
dogs.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's a hardball size baseball, right?
about I'd say yeah, about baseball. This is about baseball, so that's the kind of hail that's falling across these areas tonight, which will do damage. You don't want to be parked outside with this hail coming down. You'll have
This is
your
important.
window will be smashed.
This is important because uh, just to get our hail sizes, the gorilla hail size is correct. A softball is 10
Yeah.
or 11 inches, and I don't want to touch this one uh, right now with my greasy hands. I just had nachos with the kids. This is a Major League Baseball that on September 11th, 2006, during batting practice at Skydome, Alex Rodriguez batted out of the park.
Wow. That's awesome. And then this
Yes.
this is a toonie. So if you're in Alberta, we can get either toonie size for baseball or tennis ball size. Sometimes.
I'm sure Hilding's heard me say this before. Everything happens in my life once, good or bad. So, of course, if I go to a bunch of baseball games, I'm going to catch a ball,
Oh yeah.
right? Something else really funny happened that day, as a matter of fact. Uh, so, I was getting irritated all game long because it was September 11th, 2006, and it was like the fifth anniversary, and it was like it was like a propaganda machine for the war in Iraq that was going on there, basically, right? They had all these firefighters from New York and American military guys on the field at the start of the game, and I was getting kind of irritated. I'm in Canada, like I'm here to see a Blue Jay game, so during the seventh inning stretch, they always have the "Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball" song, right? It's the seventh inning stretch song. That's the Blue Jays game. And instead, they're like, "Now everyone stand up and with stadiums across Major League Baseball stadiums across America and sing God Bless America to remember the fallen of 9/11." And I was just sitting there in my seat, fucking drunk, and and then the Jays were losing pretty badly, and I was like, I ain't standing up. Fuck that, And then I stand up. I sit there. Mom stands up, and so is my Uncle Gary, and she's kind of like, "Stand up, son." I was like, "No way. I won't stand for God or America. Not in Toronto. Enough of this shit." I just had this feeling like maybe there's 15,000 people who feel like me, but won't. They just stand up because that's what you're supposed to do. And then these guys from the next section over, here's the problem. As I was sitting behind the New York Yankees dugout, that's where our tickets are, not dugout, but bullpen. That's where the Yankees fans are going to sit at a baseball game, right? So these guys from the next section over, they start, and there's like 10 of them, and they're like standing up, and they're pointing at me, and they're angry, and they're like real big jock kind of dudes. And the one, he's like, "Fucking stand up!" And I was like, "Holy shit," and they're like yelling at me, right? And they're getting all mad, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm just gonna stare at the field," like, And then an attendant came down, and the guy was like Puerto Rican or something, and he's a Caribbean of some sort, and he's like, "Hey, how come you won't stand for freedom?" I was like, "If you believe in freedom, you'll let me sit here. Maybe I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Maybe I'm half crippled. Maybe, why should I have to stand for God Bless America in Toronto?"
So you were taking a stand.
I was taking a sit, and then the game starts again, and we get Yankees hit a grand slam. It's a foul mood. The place isn't happy, and I'm just gonna watch the game now. I'm probably gonna get killed after. I'm starting to think, and then these guys like 3 rows behind me, they're like, "Hey, hey, hey, guy, who wouldn't fucking stand up," and I'm like, what, and they're like, "Did you not see what happened to those guys that were yelling at you?" And I looked over to that next section over, and all 10 of their seats were empty. And I'm like, are they coming around to get me or whatever? I'm like, he's like, security just threw them all out. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Woo! And then slowly, from then to the end of the game, people started being like, I wish I hadn't stood up, started saying that around me, right? Like, good on you, man. And all 10 of those guys, because they're like saying they're going to kill me and stuff, right? And the cops came and threw them out. So nothing happened. That's a true story. So I was showing them, we're talking about difference between baseball size hail, right? And Brandon had a baseball that was he called it a softball because it was squishy. It was like a dog toy,
Yeah,
but
it's like a dog toy.
Softball was a particular size baseball.
Squishy baseball.
And then I showed him the Alex Rodriguez baseball I got on September 11th, 2006 in Toronto.
So I am the world's best softball player.
Really?
When I was doing my LDS mission in Nebraska, we all kind of got all the missionaries together and we were playing softball. And every at bat, I got on base on the first pitch. There were 3 of those. I have a 1,000 batting average, so I can never play softball again because I am the world's best softball player.
That's fair. Meteorologist Mark Engels, Cowboy Donaldson, Brandon Hauk here in the pre-show, the show before the show. It's your show about how much the weather sucks. I'm trying to get this tornado warning, but the severe thunderstorm hatching's on top. There we go.
Man, they really brutalized that polygon there.
Yeah, it's a little.
A confirmed tornado at Mount Carmel, moving 60 miles per hour, damaging tornado.
Yeah. So there is a mesoscale discussion out for Little Rock right now. That's in Arkansas, and it says that. So
One second, I'll get it.
Okay, while you pull it up, so it says. So Little Rock is already in a tornado watch.
Yeah, I got that.
This is kind of like a sort of update to the tornado watch, and it says that a large tornado may possibly form in the Little Rock area in the next 60 minutes. That's another Ohio one you got there. I think you need to.
Oh, that's right.
You need to click one of these elsewhere ones.
There you go.
So that's kind of interesting.
Here we go.
It's not the big one. It's the little one right in the middle of the state.
Yeah, that one.
This guy here,
Little Rock.
Yeah.
I didn't see the secondary one. Okay.
The little one over Little Rock. I've been watching this area all day because my wife's got family in that area right now. They're doing the RV life, and so I've been kind of casually keeping an eye on it. They narrowly missed. So the storm that they're talking about in this mesoscale discussion that has already produced tornadoes, that passed right next to where they were at. So I told them to go to the bathroom at the campground. And earlier in the day in Northwest Arkansas, some of my wife's other family narrowly missed getting some baseball-sized hail up there. That was the tornado warning with baseball-sized hail. That's why I was keeping an eye on it. And the only thing that happened was Alicia's uncle takes a video looking outside of the wind and the rain, and this little watering can scoots on by, and the whole family chat was like, "You have to go get the watering can, Greg." And he did. The watering can was rescued.
Well, that's good.
So it's the one you're talking about. It took me a little while to zero in. There's layers on top of layers, so you can't just click on something without clicking on the other layers.
Right.
It's like I want to click on the tornado warning, but the severe storm watch and the mesoscale, So this is it though. Severe threat for tornado watch 45. Strong tornado will be possible in the vicinity of western Little Rock. So that's heading right towards the town.
Right, and Little Rock's not like a huge city, but it's probably about
500,000, is it, or?
Well, we have the internet. Hang on a second.
300,000. I know it's not big.
I think it's closer to 300,000, but I mean that's bigger than all of the towns in Canada, right? So
I mean, if I had to guess on Jeopardy, I would guess less than 500,000 for sure.
so
300,000.
the city itself is 202,000, but then with all the suburbs and stuff, it comes out to 748,000. So that's a decent sized city.
Holy. The suburbs are quite a bit bigger. It's a bit of a rough town, I hear.
I've never been there, but I hear that they have a Little Rock.
Oh, right. You can smoke a lot of rock there.
Well, I don't think you should do that. I don't think Arkansas is one of those states.
There's your inflow again. Here's your clear slot.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. So when I was texting Alicia's aunt that's near Hot Springs, which is southwest of Little Rock, she was like, it stopped raining. And
Right
I was like, that means the tornado is imminent. If there is a tornado, it is imminent. And it almost looked like it had a debris ball. So I had them go to the bathroom there at the campground, and nothing ended up happening. But the Storm Prediction Center does say that this cell has produced tornadoes. So
There's a brief one. I think Jeff, whatever Storm Chaser, was on that. He had a live stream. I couldn't see much on his live stream. That he said there was a brief tornado.
well, there's a lot of trees down there.
Oh yeah.
So at work, we've got a portfolio of like 2,000 megawatts of energy, and the wind was only doing about 10 megawatts. So this was my excitement for the day, was watching all these storms in Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of a screwy image.
Yeah, that's
Well, what's happening here is this must be like the boundary between two county warning areas. And
Yeah.
so like the one office can't warn for the other and vice versa. And so I bet you this is like a river or something that's the dividing line.
oh yeah. Ohio River Valley, something like that. Or no.
For those not as familiar with how weather
Illinois,
alerts
Indiana,
work in the National Weather Service.
Definitely south on the Ohio River Valley today. When I clicked on, I saw.
Yeah, there was a tornado that crossed the river there.
This is
earlier
now a
today.
tornado warning, and expires in 50 minutes.
Yeah, that's the
I'm-
new one.
Yep.
And it looks like
Oops. That's pulling
this
together.
is still radar indicated, but how about a tornado with $half size hail? Of course, the hail core is not going to align with the tornado itself. The hail core will be kind of right where that little tornado the tornado symbol is on the map. That's where the hail core would be, whereas that hook there at the bottom is where the tornado will be. Assuming
There's your
it's a
inflows,
tornado.
and there's your rear flanks. There's your
Oh
clear
yeah, that rear flank does show up pretty well on the radar. Of course, this is close to the radar site, so the radar beam's pretty low there.
It seems like quite a few times in the last 2 days too. There was one yesterday that came really close to hitting a radar site.
Yeah, that was the one by Topeka, right?
Yes.
That tornado.
I was watching that going like, what? Because you have the little bubble where the radar is, right? It's like it's a clear slot on the radar can't see straight above it. Watching the visible tornado on radar heading straight at it, basically.
Do you pay for the ability to go back in time on this app?
I do believe so.
So you should go to the Topeka, I think it's the Topeka radar, whatever radar is close to Topeka, Kansas.
What are we on?
Set it
13?
to
13th. Yep.
March 13,
At
and the time was 5:56 Pacific time.
so just 25 hours ago.
And then you'll have to switch the radar to
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta find Kansas first.
Northwest.
Plus, I got our faces in the way here, and I'm going to do that so it's easier.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
All right, so Topeka's west of Kansas City.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Yep, that's the one. And then do you have this at 656? Let's set it to 556.
I did try to set it to 556.
Yeah,
but
I saw that. Yeah. And then hit the check there.
the check, yes.
Maybe.
What? Doesn't want to give me 5.
Maybe if you hit the check and then hit the check and then click select.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I've never used the go back in time function on this one before.
it should work now. Oh, might try playing it back, see what happens.
Yeah.
See how far it goes. The loop.
That's true. Here we go.
Okay.
I had to totally redo it. So there's the radar station in question, and here's our storm.
Look at that spiral that it's got there.
We'll go back to double pane here so we can see the velocity. If it shows up.
Today.
The computer's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then look, it went right back to 650. I don't understand why it did that.
Well,
Oh, it went to 5. There.
yeah, it's at 556 on the left side. So
Oh, it says 656 on this side. That's why.
we're gonna run out of time here. Frankie's gonna show up.
I can't, for some reason, go archive on the velocity. It doesn't seem. Let's try it on here. There it is.
Wow, that was spectacular. I mean, the gate to gate ratio on this, I think, was about 150 miles an hour, which is an EF3 tornado. I haven't heard a rating on this yet, but I do know that it was confirmed to have been a tornado. I saw some footage of it earlier today on the Weather Channel at work.
Oh yeah.
That
I think I got
sort
a
of. Can you see what I'm looking at right now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This guy reminds me of this. No, that's not the one. That's a different one. Oh, here's Frankie. Yeah, there is the. It's my screen. It's literally my.
Hey Joey, I'm doing great so far. I was on another podcast earlier for recording his cornbread and honey mornings on the radio station in Missouri.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Frankie. But yeah, Amory, that was a rolling fork. I had some images.
Introducing a new radio station show is Cornbread and Honey Mornings. They interviewed me for the first time ever. That's a new podcast that Roger the Wild Child was running.
Okay. Here's Imogen. We're all here. Shall we start then?
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna get Brandon to start it this week, and then we got so sidetracked by the. And now you're not prepared to. So.
Well.
Strong start.
Strong start. Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello. Good evening, Kamloops, and greetings, viewers on Rogers Television. I am Joey, only up here in the mountains of Wells, British Columbia. I am your host of the Comedeorological Report, Comedy Meteorology Report. It's your show about how much the weather sucks. Okay? Right. So here I'm with my panel of meteorologists, here once again to talk about how weather is a funny business from across Canada, North America, at large. You never know who's going to check in with us. That's right. We're airing on C for 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, CFBX 92.5 Kamloops, and Rogers Television down in Vancouver Island. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And we will get to the main star of our show, Frankie McDonald, with his worldwide weather report in just a moment's time with us tonight. So it is currently the date just I gotta tell this to you. It's the March 14th. It's the Pi Day. Just so you know, it's Thursday, March 14th. So if you're hearing this right now on the radio, this episode later on, don't be calling your relatives and saying who are in Little Rock, Arkansas, and being like, "There's a tornado heading for you," and they'll be like, "Again?" But that is quite possibly what's happening in the suburbs of Little Rock, Arkansas, and we'll be talking about this outbreak of tornadoes, a very bad, severe outbreak in the United States, including gorilla hail. So we do have Brandon Hauk, who in the pre-show, he was talking and showing us all the images he had. He's here. He's from Brooks, Alberta. He's the weatherman on the radio stations there, and he's very good. Meteorologist Mark Ingalls down there in Portland, Oregon. We got Hilding, the cowboy. He's back. His internet's working. So we got Hilding Donaldson, and we're glad to have my friend Hilding Donaldson's back here from Grassy Plains, British Columbia. Imogen Cookie Bailey, the associate producer of this broadcast. Television broadcast is down there in Victoria, British Columbia. Good to see you, Imogen. And of course, everybody, the man himself, Frankie McDonald.
I'm doing great so far, and the weather all across southeastern United States could bring a lot of thunderstorms and rain in eastern Texas and Arkansas and places like in Louisiana and places like in Missouri, and it's getting drier in Missouri. It's going to bring lots of thunderstorms and rain in Tennessee and Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. We're including Atlanta, Georgia, and Louisiana. It's going to bring lots of thunderstorms and rain in the forecast. And it's really cool out in California right now. In Los Angeles, it's cooler than average temperatures as of right now in Los Angeles and those places right now. Then it gets a really cold weather in Nevada and Utah. They're getting a big snowstorm in Colorado right now. Then the snowstorm's going to bypass Nova Scotia this weekend. It's going to bring most of the snow is going to be off the coast of Nova Scotia. It's going to bring lots of rain and lots of snow in Maine, USA, in New Hampshire. Vermont's going to bring rain in Massachusetts, New York, and showers in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Those places this weekend and next week. Then it's going to bring more thunderstorms to the forecast in the southeastern United States. Aaron J. Jack was chasing tornadoes and things like this. It got really cold air heading for Ontario and Michigan and all those places, and all the way down to Tennessee and those places as well. Lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in Central America right now. Down South America, the weather in South America is going to bring lots of thunderstorms, rain in northern Brazil as of right now, including all the way in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and Venezuela, including Caracas, Venezuela, Panama, Colombia. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on right now. So parts of Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, and all those places right now. Northern Chile is really dry right now. Snow up in the mountains in southern Chile and windy and rainy in the south coast of Chile right now. It's really windy in Falkland Islands, but dry conditions as for right now. Then it get rain heading towards Falkland Islands as well. It's windy, really windy there right now. All across Europe, lots of rain showers going on in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, those places. Then it got a big storm ready hit Helsinki, Finland. So far, lots of snow going up in Norway, Finland, Sweden so far. And it's got showers in the forecast of Germany, heading towards Germany. Then it got some showers in France and things like this in Italy and in Albania, Croatia, Bosnia, and all those places. And Western Russia is Moscow is a little bit of flurries right now, so it's Belarus right now. And lots of next week, they got some rain head towards Syria and eastern Turkey and those places, Lebanon and Israel, Jordan, and those places right now. Over in Western Pacific, lots of rain still coming off of coast of Japan right now. It's really cold. Sapporo, Japan, it got snow in the forecast there right now. It's still really cold. It's gradually warming up in Siberia at this time of the year. And so it's northern China and Mongolia is gradually warming up too. In southern China, it's really, really, really hot, including Hong Kong and Taiwan and those places. Extremely hot, including in Philippines right now, including Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, in Singapore and Malaysia right now. India is going to get really, really, really hot soon. It's going to get extremely hot in India. It's going to get extremely hot weather. Their summer starts in April in India. And once their summer ends, our summer starts. And lots of really hot weather going on in India right now, and dry weather. It's still in the dry season. And so Sri Lanka right now. It's really hot in northern Africa right now. In the desert, like Sahara Desert, like Egypt and those places. In southern Egypt and Sudan, it's extremely hot in southern Sudan right now. In southern Africa, lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, including Tanzania, Angola, Mozambique, Madagascar, La Reunion, Mauritius Islands. Thunderstorms and rain going on right now. So parts of Botswana and South Africa, as their summer comes to an end on March 19th, there'll be autumn equinox there. Down the Southwest Pacific, there's a cyclone aiming towards northern Australia and close to Darwin, Australia. Another cyclone hitting for there, tropical cyclone. Then you got their tropical cyclone season's kicking up in the high gear. It's an El Nino year. It's still in effect, and it's going to die off. That's going to increase cyclones in Australia. Then you got some cold air, warm air fighting each other in New Zealand. Their fall starts on March 19th down New Zealand. Their daylight savings time comes to an end on April the 7th.
Hey, Frankie, Brandon's just sharing on the group chat some images, and Mark, meteorologist Mark, was saying that he has relatives down near Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, where tornado damage, I don't have a clue yet what we're looking at in town, but the tornado that's touched down there is strong enough to snap the power poles in half.
This time of the year, according to the Mike Post of Antarctica, lots of scientists are leaving Antarctica around this time of the year because their winter starts on June 20th.
Strong enough to snap telephone poles in half. Sulphur Springs hail report, Mark has shared here. Busted windows in car in Benton, Arkansas. Funnel cloud reported. So there is a lot of really bad tornado.
Worth noting with that one,
States.
that's 4-inch diameter hail. That's the size of grapefruit.
As very, very big gorilla hail. So I do have a bunch of Frankie videos queued up, and we are going to watch them soon.
So what happens if it's a hail size of the Earth?
Then
I think we call those comets.
Yeah, we call those comment. Yeah, that's right. We call them comets. So I got Frankie's videos queued up, but because we do have quite a bit of very crazy, and we can't show you on the television version that what we're looking at on the pre-show. But if you ever do want to see what we're doing, our live version, you can always come to Joey Only Care Every Weather Dude YouTube channel. We are live on here every Thursday at 6:30 generally p.m. Pacific time. And earlier, before when we started the live stream, we were showing the radar images. So Brandon Hauk has been paying close attention to that. I'm going to let Brandon host for a little bit here and pass it on to Mark as he goes. So Brandon, give us the newest update. What's going on right now with these crazy tornadoes?
Yes, we still do have some fairly active tornado warnings that are in effect as of 8:10 Mountain Daylight Time. That would be 10:10 Eastern Time as of March 14th. We still have a pretty nasty storm capable of producing a tornadic signature near Hanover, Ohio there, but looks like that rotation has since weakened. So things are finally starting to settle down in Ohio after some big tornadoes have touched down there this evening. Significant damage in Logan County there. So we will continue to keep you updated on that for you. We do have another tornado.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Brandon, but can you confirm this? I'm hearing now mass casualty incident declared after catastrophic tornado went through multiple towns, Indian Lake, Ohio. Tornado outbreak is underway, Ohio and Indiana. Catastrophic tornado has just passed through Indian Lake, Ohio, leading emergency personnel to declare a mass casualty incident due to reports of multiple buildings collapsing with people trapped, gas leaks, accident, fires, down power lines are widespread. Okay, sorry, Brandon, for cutting you off. Take it away.
Yeah, so that was the tornado that went through Logan County there with I got the report from the fire department there about an hour ago on the damage there. So yeah, definitely not good. I got some images. I saw some images from that area, and it's not a good situation at all. So we'll definitely continue to keep an eye on that as we go through the evening here. We also have another tornado warning on the Illinois-Indiana border there as well at Petersburg there. It looks like kind of, I'd say more of a right along the line there, the frontal boundary. So kind of like spin up little tornadoes there. So nothing too significant, but still that could be still quite a dangerous storm that moves through there. And then we're watching Little Rock, Arkansas, and there is now a tornado warning that's in effect as of right now. We've got a pretty nasty supercell approaching the city there, and it's capable of producing up to ping pong ball size hail. And some rotation indicated on the Doppler radar on that supercell as it moves its way in, and so already has produced a tornado in the Hot Springs Village area. Looks like we have power lines have been snapped, and we'll continue to investigate that damage as we
Can
go
I just
through
jump
the
in
evening.
there real quick?
Absolutely.
So I just pulled up for the Storm Prediction Center. They have this website that shows what approximate wind speeds match what damage. In that picture that you shared in the chat that we can't put on the TV of the snap power poles, obviously I don't know what kind of wood is used, and there's a lot of stuff, but the general idea for that kind of damage is about 100 to 140 mile an hour winds. Them being snapped rather than like uprooted, so to speak. Not that they have roots, but uprooted, so to speak. So that's like the equivalent of an EF1 to EF2 tornado. And of course, we haven't seen any other pictures from there, so there could be worse damage. And I'll let you go back, but I have additional thoughts later.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, that's quite an active night, no doubt about that. Not just the tornadoes, but also the hail has been very big with these storms tonight. At least many of these storms, the storm that's pushing into Little Rock did have history producing baseball size hail earlier this evening, and many reports of baseball size hail, tennis ball size hail, and even we've heard about grapefruit size hail in a few locations as well this evening. So quite an active scenario. And then last night in the Kansas City area, they had hail about size of softballs there on the outskirts of the city there. So, and then another fairly nasty tornado touching down just on the outside of the Topeka radar zone there. And that was what was that town called? All-Star. Oh, I got to get that town right. Hold on. That would be... yeah, in western Kansas there. That I forget the town name anyways. But yeah, that was the nasty tornado. We'll have to look back at the velocity scan on that one later. But what an impressive signature from yesterday there in parts of Kansas. Now, briefly talking about the weather here in Alberta while we're still here.
Just before you do, Brandon, I'm just looking at some images of the tornado that's hit Lakeside RV Park. Catastrophic. Very bad.
It is worth noting that RVs and mobile homes and stuff are a horrible place to be in a tornado. Because
343
there's no foundation.
campers. 343 campers. Possibly in the park, up to 343 campers. So we don't know what the mass casualty incident has been declared, and that just stands out to me. We just had on Tuesday here in Wells a meeting that included British Columbia Wildfire Service, our local guy Sally, he's awesome. People from Emergency Management British Columbia, things like that, and we're talking about fire plans, flood plans, and something dawned on me that, and I talked to Josh. He lives here. He's a counselor in our town. He's a politician of sorts, in our small town. And I said, we don't have a plan for mass casualty events. And I gave the fact that I believe, it's a matter of time before a legitimate tornado touches down in BC, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, what was that? We have the festival here. A lightning strike could kill 15, injure 15 people, whatever, right? You could have a bus coming in to town because we have a lot of tourist bus coming in the summer, hit a logging truck or something, right? Mass casualty incidents. So just out there, anybody who's involved in community planning, my message is keep that word in your planning. Keep those words in your planning. Okay, Brandon, continue with the Western Canada.
Yeah, Western Canada. So earlier this week, we've had a nice little warm up in temperature. felt like a little springy in the air. Everything started melting and we got a little bit of a runoff. And then all of a sudden yesterday happened and we were stuck in some fog for the last 24 hours. And then eventually that fog tapered off this afternoon. And now we're in for some, with the upper ridge of high pressure in place across much of the West, as we go through the weekend here, we're in for some spectacular weather across most of Western Canada, with the temperatures in BC and Alberta hitting low to mid, actually mid to high teens through St. Paddy's Day this weekend. So we can almost call it St. Patio's Day for Alberta and BC this weekend. And we'll see still we've got another system crossing over the eastern prairies, so that will keep things on the cool side across Manitoba and Saskatchewan for now. But that probably might bring a little blast of snow, especially northern portions of Saskatchewan for Friday and northern Manitoba Friday into Saturday. But other than that, nothing too significant into next week. And then as we go into next week, after this stretch of very warm air, looks like at least Wednesday and Thursday is going to be the next pattern change. And looks like that will be a return to some wintry conditions and possibly some snow across Alberta and parts of BC for middle part of next week there, with an Arctic front blasting in from the north there, changing the weather dramatically again. So yeah, that will be latest on the Western Canada side of things.
We just had Justin show up from Weather Center of Manitoba. Hey, Justin, good to see you tonight.
Yeah.
Mark, we have you lined up here to go. You shared a nice quote from Donald. Is this a true quote? I never understood wind. I know windmills very much. Gases are spewing into the atmosphere. We have a world, right? So the world is tiny compared to the universe. So tremendous amounts of fumes and everything.
Well, I think that was Chris Calais that shared that. Actually, I don't know if it's real, but it's you never know. So I don't have thoughts on that. But to kind of continue on the severe weather outbreak, we talked about the tornadoes and the golf ball sized hail. I guess my daughter's done sitting on my lap here, so give me a second. One thing that really stands out is like that mass casualty event with the RVs, mobile homes, and obviously RVs are not as robust as mobile homes, especially if they're tied down and anchored into the ground. But even if a mobile home is anchored into the ground, we're talking like a single wide or a double wide, the maximum winds that can withstand is an EF2 tornado. And so like this was kind of controversial in, I think it was the El Reno tornado in Oklahoma in 2013. The tornado only really hit a mobile home park. And so it had the signature of being an EF5, but because it only hit that mobile home park, it was rated as an EF2 or an EF3 or something like that. So it really is crucial. Like if you happen to be camping and like, especially people in Western US and Western Canada don't really fully conceptualize this. If you're camping and a tornado is on the way, it is better to be outside than it is to be in your RV during a tornado. This is serious business. It's catastrophic in a way that you wouldn't expect. One thing that's kind of surprising, but not really, is most of the tornadoes are up in the upper Ohio River Valley, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky sort of idea. And earlier today, we were really expecting most of the tornadoes to be more like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Big hail was a big threat there, and we've seen that too. But the Storm Prediction Center did note a chance of tornadoes, but for the upper Ohio Valley. But really, this caliber of tornadoes, of course, it only takes one. You only need one tornado to hit like an RV park for it to be catastrophic. So we talked about the radar signature and the grapefruit-sized hail, and there's baseball-sized hail. Go Mariners! Go Mariners!
No,
they will continue to disappoint us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This storm complex, so it's a low-pressure system. When I looked earlier, it was like over eastern Kansas or something. That's really what's driving this Gulf of Mexico moisture and heat up into like the Mississippi Valley and the Ohio Valley. That low is going to shift continue eastward, but because it won't be tapping the Gulf of Mexico moisture, the severe weather threat really declines tomorrow forward as the storm moves east. So we're looking at let's see what I got here. So we're looking at some rain on the East Coast, periods of snow in the Maritimes. Frankie kind of talked about that, and the snow chances, especially like offshore or when you're away from the water at some of the higher elevations there. There's a low tracking from near Whitehorse tonight up in Yukon, down towards Winnipeg and over towards the Maritimes. Some precipitation is possible around Winnipeg on Friday, but it looks like most of that will be further north in the province, like north of the lake there. I don't know how you refer to those regions, but it doesn't look like Winnipeg's going to get too much, though some thunder's definitely possible. Frankie and the Maritimes get some rain from that Sunday and Monday. Some snow again up in the hills and whatever. And then snow with areas of rain Monday to Tuesday for Newfoundland before that moves out to sea.
And
We have an Omega block. Oh, Frankie, go ahead.
Antarctica and up in the Arctic there'll be 12-hour daylight, 12-hour darkness all over there. Both Arctic and Antarctica, all over the world on March 19th. That's vertical equinox. That means it's going to be an Omega block in Europe too.
Hey, I like the sweater. Go Sens, go.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Hey, Frankie, what happens?
The equinox is coming up. We've got the Omega block. Oh.
Just going to say, Frankie, what happens if you have a tornado with 10,000 kilometer an hour winds in a field of nothing?
They'll be destroying everything.
If it's in a field of nothing, it's F0. 10,000 kilometer an hour winds. Yeah, that's
well, that actually might
talked
end up
about this
being
a
an
few weeks ago.
EFU.
Yeah, we talked about this a few weeks ago where I feel like as we try to further our climate science, we need to start somehow find a new system where we base on measured wind speeds as well, so that we have better data on what these storms are doing.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that was a good conversation we had. So the Omega block, this is big news for us in the West, Pacific Northwest, Western Canada. Brandon talked about that some. Mid to high teens for a lot of Western Canada, at least lowland areas, but Vancouver might tap 20. So that'll be big news. Snowpack may be near peak for the season in British Columbia, but we may add a little bit more snow, but this may be like the most that we have in the mountains at one time. So we may have a pretty slow melt out. We call it an Omega block because if you look at a map, it looks like the Greek letter Omega with a upper level low in the southwest side, upper level low in the southeast side, and then the jet stream kind of wraps around that over the top of the ridge and then back down. It looks like this ridge is going to kind of break down midweek. It doesn't look like we're going to get any big storms, but a return to some active weather for British Columbia, maybe Alberta too, starting midweek. And snow, like I said, some snow in the mountains. It's still spring, maybe some rain in the lowland areas, but I don't see any strong signal for like a big atmospheric river event or anything like that. So that's what I have for the evening.
Excellent.
Oh my god! That's sick!
Look what we were eating.
Got such a big fish!
That's sick.
Okay.
That was so good. He tasted so good. Nice size.
How much did it weigh?
I don't know.
That's a nice catch, isn't it?
But I gotta turn this off now. I don't know, but it's probably in the 7 to 9 range. I can tell you from years of weighing fish in the 5 range and years of weighing fish in the 10 range. Right.
And that's kilograms, right? Or is it pounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one uses kilograms. That's like the only thing about the metric system. It's like nobody wants to use kilograms. The metric system's awesome. But it's like kilograms, come on.
Well, also, how tall are you?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like,
I did know about one.
183 centimeters. Like, come on, that's so annoying to try to measure 183. You got to count 183 times. Like, no, I'm like 6'1". Okay, that's cool. Imogen Cookie Bailey, how is weather in Victoria this week? And what else should we do in this show? Who should go after you? You are the associate producer. Make us do something.
I can tell you I'm 163 centimeters. I know that much. 62 kilograms. You're in Canada, Joey. You should know some of this. At least a little bit. But to be fair, I am 5'7" and weigh in pounds. Because it's Canada. We don't use metric for weight and height usually. It's only on government forms where we have to, and everyone looks on their phone to do a conversion first.
That's okay. Real quick, before you go, I was in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is of course a U.S. territory, and the speed limit signs are in miles per hour. So it'll say Velocidad Maxima 25, but all of the other highway signs are in kilometers. So like your speed limit is 50 miles an hour, and your exit is in 2 kilometers. And that was, and they do gas in liters too. So that place was just the worst.
It's wild how different things are measured differently. Metric, colloquially, metric is used for narcotics, but for more common things that everyone engages with, we use more imperial. Like our speed signs like our road speed signs are all in metric, but then we also have signs along the highways by the airport and the ferries that says like, hey, you're in Canada, think metric, and it'll have a basic conversion, like 50 miles is 80 kilometers. But I think most vehicles have both imperial and metric on their speed. Just a guess. As a general safety, when you're dealing with a North American consumer base, you kind of should have both. A lot of vehicles are going to cross the border,
and then you should have them both in French too.
Well, what would kilometers be in French? Like, what's the abbreviation? I thought kilometer was a French word. Does it not say km, or is it just km with like a little a squiggly little accent over a letter?
Yeah, that's it. Kilometers.
Right?
That's how you say it en français.
I don't care how they say it as long as they're feeding me poutine.
Poutine is nature's candy. It's one of the most perfect foods that we have.
I'm astonished that poutine is not an American invention, because like fries, gravy, and cheese curds, like that just sounds like Texas to me.
It's really important that we make fun of French Canadians because we have an inferiority complex about who is actually more Canadian. And they're pretty Canadian, man.
You know what? One of the ones that I'm actually a little surprised by is I was surprised to find that Botox as a cosmetic application is Canadian. Like with the legacy of LA plastic surgeons, I was really surprised to find it was developed in Vancouver as a cosmetic procedure. I was impressed and surprised. Go figure.
Is it a good idea to put botulism in your face?
Yes. 100%. Yes.
Okay, I'll try it.
Well, the medical applications are pretty amazing. Like the results from medical use of Botox is really impressive. And then the cosmetic application is a much weaker version of that. It's the same thing. It's the same process. It does the same thing, but it's such a more fine-tuned version that, yeah, absolutely. Jam as much in there as you want. Make yourself.
Well, that's good to know, because as I get older, more and more people tell me, Joey, you're looking ugly lately, and
you can add me to that list.
Botox.
Maybe what I need is some botulism in my face.
All the Botox. Get all the Botox.
So sorry to our viewers who put botulism in their cereal face or anything else. That's your choice, man. Not my choice. Hilding Donaldson, we haven't talked to you yet. You're the last on the. No, we haven't talked to Justin Ordle either. Actually, what's going on is I got so many people now in the chat that I have to actually click the little arrow to see who's all in there. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got Justin and Hilding. Who wants to go next?
No one, clearly. What have you done, Joey?
Well, I guess I can go here. We've been having it just warm enough that any snow that falls overnight has been melting every day. But the cows still have plenty of water, so we're pretty happy about that. We had one calf, but that happened because the neighbor's cow got in, our neighbor's bull got into our herd too early. So our calves are supposed to start next month. That's what things are doing around here. I have the trouble that I like my stove and the house gets too hot.
I hear that.
Nice for a change.
It is nice to wake up in the morning and it not being like, so cold, even though your stove's not going. Justin, Weather Center, Manitoba.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. Did you bring them snowflake pictures?
I could pull them up if you guys want.
Okay, I'll let you give your bit on Manitoba first here for our CKUW listeners. We got to show everybody your snowflake stuff, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
So a snowflake and coming at you in the show right after this. Justin, go ahead.
But I do agree with what Mark had said earlier. We got some pretty warm temperatures on the way for Brandon, Winnipeg, kind of that southern area of the province into Friday, and then we'll cool down a bit Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday we'll have another kind of burst of warm air until we get a pretty strong Arctic cold front coming down Tuesday, Wednesday next week across the eastern prairies. And in fact, all the prairie provinces looks pretty chilly by the end of next week and into next weekend. So that could definitely spark up some more snow if we get some waves coming from the west coast across the Rocky Mountains interacting with some of this Arctic air. So that's kind of something we're going to be keeping an eye on over the next week and a half. But then by the end of March, it looks like warm air will kind of flood back in and could be the start of spring as we go into early April here in the prairies.
Excellent. Okay, before we have the news, we're going to have Mark lead off the news here in a minute, but we have not had our Frankie videos for the week. Frankie McDonald, are you ready for the Frankie videos of the week?
Yes, I'm ready.
What's your favorite video this week, Frankie?
My favorite videos this week is when I was talking about the Finland weather forecast. That's one.
Yeah, we'll do those. We'll do those too because they are for weather that's happening today, March 14th.
And Indonesia forecast as well.
So here he is, the man, Frankie McDonald.
Hey everybody, it's Frankie down. I'm doing great so far. Here I am.
What's going on? How come it's
Things
so
are going
quiet?
great so far. It's pretty cool in my area right now.
It's super quiet. Why is it so quiet?
I hear it fine.
Yeah,
What?
sounds okay. I don't know.
Really? Okay, you heard it just fine? Okay, then it's just only super quiet coming out of my TV. Okay, I'll set it back up.
Hey everybody, it's Frankie down. I'm doing great so far. Here I am. Things are going great so far. It's pretty cool in my area right now. And things are going great. And I'm doing really well in these days. I'm doing great in these days. I'm down Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia as of right now. Things are going really great on my side. Things are doing really well. Here I am on Charlotte Street in Sydney. Here it is. Things are going great so far on my side. Things are going really great. Here I am. Things are going really well in my side for Frank Down. This is Frank McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major snowstorms head towards Denver, Colorado on Thursday, March 14, 2024. It's going to bring up to 6 to 12 inches of snow more. Winds are going to be really strong, including Boulder, Colorado, and the rest of surrounding areas in Denver area. It's going to bring a lot of snow. It's going to affect Colorado Springs. It's going to affect the small towns outside Denver as well. It's going to bring blown snow, drift snow, reduced visibility, dangerous and treacherous time conditions, and streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered in Denver, Colorado, and surrounding areas. I want every single person in Denver, Colorado to be prepared. It's going to bring a lot of snow. It's going to bring howling winds, blowing snow, drifting snow, reduced visibility, dangerous and treacherous time conditions in Denver, Colorado, and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring blowing snow, howling winds, snow drifts, reduced visibilities, white oak conditions, It's going to bring lots of dangerous driving conditions in Denver, Colorado, and the surrounding areas as well. People in Denver, Colorado, be prepared. Have your winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats and gloves, scarves, ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas, and order your Chinese food, buy a case of Pepsi, buy a case of Coke. Doing grocery shopping, don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure you have your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets charged. Every 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE and rent rate as well. When drive a car, take your time, drive a car slowly on, so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking, see adults with the fall. Make sure your furnace and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnace heat pumps, keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green to keep warm. Have your extra blankets ready, keep it warm. So make sure if you shovel, snow scoop, snow blowers, snow plows, salt trucks ready as well. If you have anybody live in Denver, Colorado, be prepared for a major snowstorm on Thursday, March 14, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major snowstorm. Stay warm, be safe. This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Heavy rain and very strong winds headed towards Helsinki, Finland on Thursday, March 14, 2024. It's going to bring really strong winds and heavy rain to Helsinki, Finland. It's even going to hit Murmansk, Russia. It's going to bring lots of rain in Helsinki and the surrounding areas, including in southern Finland. It's going to bring high winds and heavy rain. I urge everyone to wear your rain gear, rubber boots, and raincoats to keep you dry. For people living in Helsinki, Finland, it's going to bring a whole lot of rain and very strong winds. It's even going to affect western Russia, including Murmansk, Russia. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in Helsinki, Finland, and the surrounding areas as well. Very strong winds and heavy rain will also affect Murmansk, Russia. Be prepared. Stay safe. Bitcoin!
Okay, so you guys could hear that like normally?
All except the one video was good.
There's
Yeah,
a weird-
one of the videos it started off quiet, but then became normal.
I'm having a weird thing where on my computer I cannot hear Frankie's videos.
I think it sounds like operator headspace to me.
No, it's weird. It's fine on my phone. It was playing. I could barely hear it. It was like this loud. And so remember last week I was like fussing over a clip because I couldn't hear Frankie. But it showed up on my graph. I was like, the sound is there. And then I exported it and listened to it. And it couldn't hear it. And I looked at it again and the sound was on the waveline. So something weird is going on with, for some reason, I cannot hear friggin' Frankie's videos. Okay, now that's figured out. Okay, time for some stupid news. Mark Ingalls, what do you got for us to start off the show?
Well, talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin hit a record this week. I think it's worth 73,000 US dollars. So that's probably like 4 million Canadian dollars or something close to that. Yeah, for one Bitcoin, $73,000.
For something that doesn't even exist?
Right. You know, we were having this conversation at work actually, and like we've got a guy who's really like one of the crypto bros, and I'm like, dude, how are you going to use this as an actual currency when like a gallon of milk costs $3 or you know this little bit of Bitcoin one day and is double the price the next day? That's a non-functioning economy. Like, you know, Bitcoin is cool and neat, but like, let's have a little dose of reality here. But the actual dose of reality is coming for Boeing still because the hits just keep on coming. And this is I don't know if this is funny news, but like, you know, it's almost becoming comical how many bad things are happening to Boeing recently. Because of course, I think it was like 2018 or something that they had the planes nosedive in Africa because of the software issue. Of course, the door plug was ejected from the plane violently above Portland, Oregon, and landed in some suburban neighborhood or whatever. And a shirt was ripped off a kid while he was sitting in the seat right next to it.
And the sound that the door made when it hit the ground was boing.
I'm glad I got to witness that. Yeah. So this week, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration issued it's a non-binding directive, I think. Non-conforming. No. Okay, start over. They issued a directive on the spoiler of a wing. So that's something that lifts up to increase drag while you're landing. The wires are bundled improperly, and it can cause the spoiler to become stuck in the open position, leading to the pilot to lose control of the airplane and crash. So that directive came out this week. On last Saturday, a whistleblower who used to work in the safety area of Boeing, he was alleging, and this is like going through courts in South Carolina, that Boeing's quality control was not of high quality, that there are a lot of safety issues on the 787 Dreamliner, among other planes. Well, he did not show up for court to testify one day, and the police went to his hotel to do a welfare check, and they found him dead of what they're calling a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his pickup outside of the hotel. And with all the things happening at Boeing, I'm not going to sit here and slander anyone, but I'll let you do that in your mind for yourself. And so it's just like, I wonder how long it will be before, and I know Brandon has something else too, but I wonder on the front of all Alaska Airlines flights, it's painted on there, proudly all Boeing. And I wonder how long it's going to be before, they send somebody out there with a bucket of paint to cover over the word proudly. So it just says all Boeing.
You're starting to paint the picture that this corporation that, the very same one that engineered and has mass produced the B-52 Stratofortress nuclear war capable carpet bombing aircraft, you're starting to give me the impression these people don't care about human life.
What? You mean the almighty dollar matters a little bit more? What a concept in corporate America. It is kind of a bummer, actually, because Boeing has for a long time been a major driver in Seattle's economy and in the Pacific Northwest economy in general. And so to have this happen, it used to be that people would refuse to not fly on Boeing planes, but the last couple of years have been really, really something for them. And then the other thing that I wanted to say too, and I don't know if this was a Boeing issue or what, but a plane flying from Puerto Vallarta, it was an Alaska flight from Puerto Vallarta in Mexico to Portland, Oregon. It landed in Mexico, or in Portland, and they realized that the cargo door was ajar. But they realized this after it landed at PDX. So, do they not have a sensor or something in the cabin for the pilot to see? When I'm driving my Subaru Forester, it tells me when the door is open, right? It's got the little symbol there. Do they not have something like that in the cabin of an airplane? That's just shocking to me.
Well, they should have. They're very lucky that no one snuck on the plane while they were flying around up there. Brandon, up in Canada.
Up in Canada, eh? Yeah. Yes, I do have a couple of stories. One's probably not in Canada, but the other one is. An Air Canada flight, a woman 3,000 feet above gave birth on the aircraft, flying into Toronto there on an Air Canada flight there. So that happened earlier this week, as we're sticking to aviation, kind of the wild stories of aviation this week. And then
she was like, how could we make an Air Canada flight possibly worse for everybody? I know. I'll give birth.
Oh, wow.
Could be worse. It could have been on WestJet.
Ooh.
I like WestJet anyways, I won't fly Air Canada no more. I'm mad at them.
And then a couple other
What's your problem with them now?
It's a long list.
Did they lose your luggage again?
10 years. I never it's the small things that really got to me, besides the big things I could go on about. But it was like my ear, I have headphones. I get on the plane and the earphone jack has 2 little holes. So you have to have special earphones. So they give you the special earphones and they're garbage. And then you throw them out. I don't know if that's still happening, but that was the way it was for a long time. The last time I was on an Air Canada flight, they're still giving you these headphones with these stupid jacks. And then everybody just throws them in the garbage.
So what we're hearing is what happens when Joey does not have anyone any outlet to yell at kids about kids being on his lawn. Instead of yelling at kids to get off his lawn, he's ranting about Air Canada.
I don't really have a lawn. It just grows
Old
over.
man yells at
I don't
cloud.
care.
That's what
I don't
we're
care what
hearing.
kids
Old
do.
man yells at
Next
cloud.
week on the Comedeorological Report, Joey learns what Bluetooth is.
Have you seen the way that I parent? Like, I don't care what kids do.
Wow. All right. I'll switch gears here. Did you know tigers are more likely to win in a fight against lions? Did you know that?
What about bears?
Oh, I have to look into that. That's the only.
No, tigers are substantially larger than lions.
They are. That's why they could win in a fight.
That's why they could. And they're not afraid of water, so they could like run in the water if they were losing. And a lion would never do that.
Lions are afraid of water?
No, they're not afraid of water, but tigers like swimming.
Oh, do they have Bluetooth?
They have many teeth. They have sharp teeth. I know that.
Oh, okay. And then finally, another man. This guy's been having some trouble with headaches here lately. So he gets checked over and apparently has tapeworms in his brain after eating undercooked bacon all his life.
That's nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel.
That is so 80s, man. Like, you know, even if at least if he had CD worms, would be like, man.
Oh yeah.
This is
these days kids have
celiac
Spotify
disease.
worms.
That's all I got.
So can I return to aviation real quick?
Yes,
Since
please.
I was one time flying from London's Worth Airport, Luton Airport, to Reykjavik, and we were flying a discount Hungarian airline called Wizz Air, and this is a full flight, London to Reykjavik, and they only had one person at the counter checking luggage. We rode the train there, and we got there late, and then we check our luggage and we sprint in the United Kingdom. If you think airports in the US and Canada are like malls, you should go to the United Kingdom. It's like literally half a kilometer of mall before you even get to where all the gates are at. And we run through it, and we forgot like a laptop or something back at security. So I had to run back with my shoes untied, and we go back. And at this airport, you know, you're walking past, and I'm looking for gate 27. So I'm walking past, and it's like gate 25, gate 26, gate 28. And there's no sign for gate 27. You're just expected to know that it's down this obscure stairwell. And then there's like a little sign on the door that says 27. And then you go in there, and it's like this weird, like you're waiting for a driver's license, but there's no plastic seats. You're just all standing in line. And we wait there. I was going to be late for this flight, but this flight was late to the gate for some reason. And they pulled up the wrong plane to the gate first. And then they pulled up the right plane to the gate. And we get on, and the inside of this airplane, Wizz Air, it looks like the inside of a 90s Burger King with the bright purples and the bright pinks. Like, it was aggressively 90s. It was just...
At least nothing they could do would have them serve worse food. The funny thing, Brandon, is that this isn't the only 35,000 foot delivery that happened this week. There was another baby born on a plane from a flight from Jordan to London.
Wow. So it's two.
That's 2 in 1 week. You know, that's crazy. What are you flying around for? All ready for babies, you know, like settle down. It's baby time, everybody. So
I can't imagine a woman that pregnant on an airplane, because like when I think about how miserable my wife was when she was 7+ months pregnant, like there's no way that she would have sat for that long in an airplane seat. Like, I understand if there's like a family emergency going on or something, but there can't have been 2 people in this world this week that had that caliber of a family emergency to need to fly that pregnant.
Well, I mean, just think of how irritating flights are when you're not pregnant.
I try to not. I hate flying.
It's been a long time for me. It's been a long time.
I always make sure I get the window seat.
Yeah, we know it's been a long time for you. You're still talking about headphone jacks on airplanes.
So
Those
Here-
don't exist anymore.
I was gonna say
Here's
my first flight's gonna be in April, going down to see the solar eclipse. So I haven't been on a plane before, just a 2-seater. So it should be
Ooh,
fun.
that'll be fun. We're flying into Tulsa to go to the solar eclipse. So
Nice. Yeah, we're going into Dallas from Brandon,
Gary
Manitoba.
and Dano show's going to be in Texas for the eclipse. They said so.
Nice.
So for the first time ever, humpback whales have been engaged, photographed, engaging in sexual activity, and it turns out that both the whales were male.
Well, if anyone's going to be comfortable on camera, it's going to be dudes.
Well, it reminds me of this old comic T-shirt that my friend used to have, and it said "Nuke the gay whales for baby Jesus," and it was like a mushroom cloud with whales all flying.
well,
And,
you,
But this is
talking
great. This
about-
is great because everybody out there who talks about what's natural and what's not, the largest animal in the world is
Nature doesn't care
having
what you
sex
think
with-
about it.
with its
Nature
buddy.
really doesn't care about our thoughts.
Nature doesn't. That's so true.
Talking about exploding whales, in Oregon history, we exploded a whale that was beached on the central coast, and so there's like a collegiate baseball team here called the Portland Pickles, and every season they have an exploding whale night. Like this is a fixture of Oregon history, and when they used the dynamite, they didn't use enough to blow it into smithereens, and so like
No, it was
chunks of
large
whale,
chunks flying in the air.
chunks
large
of
chunks
whale the
whale.
size of like small cows were landing on cars in the parking lot.
That is fantastic.
That's the 1970s in Oregon for you.
Yeah, the 50th anniversary was something like 3 years ago or something.
Yep.
Why would they think that an explosion would be a suitable way to dispose of this?
Their
obviously
thought
possible.
process was it would blow it into small enough bits to then
No.
bury those bits.
If it's not a
And-
contained explosion, like have we not learned anything from the demolition of casinos in Vegas where it's a controlled implosion? Anything that has to be destroyed comes down internally. It's exploded on itself.
I'm intrigued to know what kind of engineering you would do to cause a whale to implode internally rather than explode.
We do have Hank here, but I mean, let's not be too hard on the people of Oregon because since the invention of explosives, it was just a matter of time before someone said, "Let's blow up a friggin' whale, man." Hank Fleistra, he's out there walking around Saskatchewan. Can I get you to turn your phone sideways, Hank, so we get the profile of you? Hank Fleistra, how you doing, buddy?
I'm just gonna throw that
You
out.
probably can't see me right now,
Nope.
but I'm doing good.
But at least you're landscaped now.
Hank is a black hole. That's what we're seeing.
Hey, I
How is it?
apologize.
How is the darkness in Saskatchewan?
The darkness? It's nice. I have spring fever now. What
Yeah,
it-
this darkness in Saskatchewan is because you guys don't do daylight saving, right?
melting. Listen. We got crunchy, fleshy stuff that I'm walking on here, and I love it.
Yeah, Hank, it
So,
looks like
you know,
you got more snow there than we do in Brandon. We had a blizzard over a foot of snow, but actually a lot has melted since we had that down here in Manitoba.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got no snow for the first half of the winter, and everything in the second half. And in the end, we probably had a little bit greater than average snowfall, just because a lot of it happened in March here. Well, it was the end of February and then the beginning of March. So it was strange winter.
Would you say that it was a strange winter?
Yes, I would. Hey, in early February, I was actually hiking on grass in central Saskatchewan. There was no snow. And to get to the hiking spot, I crossed an ice-covered lake, and then I hiked up into the hills in grass.
Wow.
So that was very different from what I'm used to in the middle of the winter. That was February 3rd.
Crazy.
Did you see that nice char I nailed in the lake this week during that crazy? We had like a crazy grapple squall, blizzard-like squall for, not for blizzard length of time, but so we decided to go out and put some fishing lines in the lake, and I drilled a hole, threw the line in, went to the house with the kids, came back 90 minutes later, checked the line, and there was like a char on it. It was really nice. Really nice. Frankie McDonald, you are the star of the show. We have not talked to you enough this week. How does people find you if they want to find more Frankie McDonald? Hear more what you got to say. Well, who wants to hear more Frankie McDonald? Frankie, go.
If you want to follow me on social media, my Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie McDonald. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDon984. My Clapper is FrankDon984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECDON. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. And my Twitch is Frankie McDonald 984. And my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Community Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves.
That's Frankie McDonald. I'm
Good
Joey
to
Only
see you again, Frankie.
That's Hank. So I'm Joey Only, the guy here in Wells, British Columbia. This is the Comedeorological Report, as you said. C for 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 959, Winnipeg, CFBX Kamloops 92.5, and Rogers Television, Vancouver Island. Thank you very much for having us on. Tonight on the show, we had Imogen Bailey, imogen.in. You can find her online. Justin Ortle from Weather Center in Manitoba Facebook group. Please look him up, especially if you are listening to us on CKUW and you do not know about this group, because you're probably the only one in Manitoba. Then we got Brandon Hauk. You can find him on Twitter and on the Facebook as well. Hank's on the Twitter as well. So there you go. And Hilding, you can find him out in the farm. In fact, if you have any experience with calving and you have short sleeves, do talk to him. He needs you.
Flatlander Hank. Hey, sorry for missing on most of the recent shows. I have this thing going on where I just lose all my energy in the evening. And I think in the day, I'm going to join. And then in the evening comes like,
That happens to all of us too. As soon as the show starts, we're like,
God,
we got to do this again.
It's Joey's voice that really does it to us.
The droning awfulness of my deep voice. I've been trying to get it changed. It's not that easy.
I forgot about the BC time change.
I got a face for radio, but I don't know about my voice. It's unfortunate. Any last words from anybody on the panel?
Best luck to you. I'm Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Community Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
That's Frankie McDonald. Yeah, that is Frankie. He is such a good guy. We love Frankie so much. Well, that's the show this week. That's the show. You hear that, everybody? That's the show, everybody. Everybody, that's the show.
Yeah.
If you all said
That's
it
the
together,
show.
If everybody just said it, that'd be so
That's
awesome.
it for the show.
That's the show.
We're done now.
That's the show.
That's the show, guys.
I forgot you guys changed your time. So
Sorry, that's the show,
thing.
Hank. We got to talk about it in a minute. After the show, because that's the show.
Yeah, I know.
That's the show.
That's the show.
And Frankie's out. Right on cue.
Well, Frankie's got a tight social schedule, so.
That is so funny.
Hey, do you want to
Hank,
talk
you're
about the
exactly
storm?
like me, always tuning in late. It's okay. Us prairie people, we don't know the time.
It doesn't really matter because it's like because ever since the beginning we've had it established that Frankie and Brandon, and then over the years now we've added all these people. But it's like, well, yeah, it's like Frankie and Brandon have been here the first, so it's like we got to continue with Frankie and Brandon at the top of the show. So it's like if you show up 15 minutes into the show, you're probably just catching Brandon partway through or getting started.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so. Don't. And my policy being, I'm basically an anarchist, right? I mean, except for when I'm on a wildfire, and then there's a chain of command. I get it, but I mean, essentially that's how philosophically how I do things is Is well, come if you want when you can. That'd be awesome, you know. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I'm gonna
If you want to talk about the
I'm gonna
storm.
change my alarm so it
Don't
goes
talk
off
about the storm.
1
So,
hour earlier.
The storm will. Storms are so scary for me.
Good.
So, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you think
Good
storms are
forecast.
scary to you?
I guess she thinks storms. That's the first time she said that because we've been through thunderstorms before, and she actually really liked it. But
Well, it's because
apparently
the whole trailer park got destroyed tonight from the tornado, so it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna sit there after we just talked about how tornado mass casualty events. Like nothing to worry about, honey. Like,
well, we
happens.
don't.
That
The
happens.
tornadoes
all the
here are
time.
not big. Yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, I don't want to scar her more. Maybe we'll turn on an episode of Trailer Park Boys. That way she can see a trailer park that's intact, kind of.
Yeah. What state had tornado problems tonight? I missed that.
We got some all throughout the kind of like central part of the U.S., going from Ohio and Indiana down to Arkansas and Texas.
Yeah, see, you're
don't
just
we
saying
put-
what I was saying to Brandon earlier. Arkansas, because Arkansas is not the same as Kansas City, which is not the same as Kansas State.
There's actually I think I've heard this, and I don't know if this is a joke or not, but in Wichita, there is the Arkansas River goes through Wichita, and I've been told that they call it the Arkansas River.
Just to make it,
About a hook
What
echo
is-
there.
just so you can tell who's local and who's not when they come around, right?
Well, that's like in Texas. There's a river that's spelled Colorado, but they
It's like
pronounce it Colorado.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
So if
but
someone
they
comes
pronounce-
around, comes around, and they're like, "Wow, I really like the Arkansas River." They'll be like, "He's not one of us. Get him!"
Well, you know how to know somebody's from
No.
Missouri, right? It's when they call it Missouri. That's how they tell the difference between transplants and not. But so the Colorado River, they still call the state of Colorado, but they refer to the river as Colorado River, and the town on the river is Colorado City, but Colorado Springs is Colorado Springs. So
Also,
Just
you
one
do
of
not
those
say
things. Holy
Calgary
moly, I
if
did
you
not
are
know.
in Calgary. Because you say Calgary,
So
they'll be
when
like,
I
"He's not
say-
from around here. Get him!"
That's true.
When I call the state Arkansas, I'm wrong.
no. The state Arkansas, that's correct. But
Oh,
I have heard that in Wichita, Kansas, they call the Arkansas River the Arkansas River.
okay.
But
Yeah.
but that's
I
like
can
a
live with
good
that.
500 kilometers away or something.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Maybe I'm totally wrong. Now I'm second guessing myself on whether
Just
this
like-
river
and if
even
someone's
goes through
like-
Wichita or not.
If someone's like, "Yeah, we were hanging around in Toronto," we'd be like, "You're not from around here, are you? You're not from
I have
Toronto."
a cousin in Indiana that was under a tornado warning today at one point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been kind of a wild day down in those parts.
I wish I
Finals-
could go there. I wish I could go there to see the solar eclipse because I could stay with them for free, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Final
I'm
score
gonna.
tonight. Final score tonight: Toronto Maple Leafs 6, Philadelphia Flyers 2, John Tortorella 0.
Who's Tortorella with now?
He's with Philadelphia, but he's been suspended for refusing to leave the game.
That sounds like him.
So he wasn't behind the bench tonight, and they got smoked.
I love him, man. I love that he's always.
No,
I like it.
no,
I like him too.
no.
Even though that game against Vancouver and the Flames at one time, I remember that line brawl. That
I
was.
love seeing him.
I
blow
still
up.
watch back through that every once in a while. Oh, let's watch through that again and see the line brawl again and see him trying to get into the Flames dressing room. That was
Generally, when I think about his face, the words "rat fink" come to name.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're going to talk about sports, Portland Winterhawks still number 2 in the WHL Western Conference.
Yeah.
So Prince
Behind,
George is beating them out right now, though, and it looks like Kamloops is all the way at the bottom. The Tri-City Americans aren't even as bad as them.
That's Kamloops. The Blazers, though, the Blazers weren't bad too many years back. But so my team is better than your team, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's the whole point. Is this is a Canadian show, and so I'm going to come in here and flex on Canadians who are not playing at hockey as well. Even though everybody on these teams are Canadian. Like, let me pull up the Winterhawks here.
Yeah, but still, some are here in the Prince George Caribou region, and some are down there in Portland. If you decided that you wanted to go play down in Portland, young people, you're a traitor to your country, and a huge role model for Mark's family.
I have the roster up here for the Winterhawks, and there's a couple dozen players or whatever, and there are 3 Americans, 2 Czech people.
Oh yeah.
And the rest of them are Canadian. When I was in high school in the Tri-Cities, we always knew who were playing for the Americans because they'd be the ones in the parking lot with the Canadian license plates. You don't very often come across a Saskatchewan license plate in a high school parking lot in the Tri-Cities of Washington.
You scored Nate Danielson from the Wheat Kings. He's a great player. We're sad to see him go down to Portland this season, but hey, maybe he has a chance to get a Western Hockey League Cup with the Winterhawks this season. So we're happy for him.
It'd be really, I really like, I have not been to a Winterhawks game. I'm a Tri-City Americans fan. That's kind of where I grew up, but I really love those games. And I really want, I hope next season I can take my daughter to a few of them because, man, when I went to the AAA baseball team in the Tri-Cities, it was unbelievably boring. You're just sitting there. It felt like I was watching a middle school baseball game, but the Tri-City Americans games, that stadium holds 6,000 people, and it is always packed. It is so much fun, man. I need to take my daughter to some hockey games. We've taken her to a Mariners game. We've taken her to a Thorns game. That's our women's league soccer team here in Portland. So I need to take her to a hockey game.
Mariners beat the Brewers 4-2 today in spring training.
Oh wow!
Ooh, yeah, they'll do well in spring training and then disappoint us all.
Maybe the Blue Jays will
have.
Blue Jays were 5-1 over the Twins today, and that included some RBIs from Davis Schneider, Stuart Baroa, Rafael Lantigua, young player there. Lantigua, he's an interesting person. He's not a guy you expect to hit much, but he's definitely a defensive player. He's listed at second base, but he plays anywhere in the field. You give him one of those guys. And catcher Brian Servin had 2 RBIs today on a hit. And Bowden Francis, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts.
Joey Votto.
Nice to see our prospect Bowden Francis throwing 6 scoreless innings.
Yeah.
Is Joey Votto going to be a for sure Blue Jay or just maybe?
No, he's signed. Whether he makes the roster or not, I imagine
Probably
he might start off. It's possible that he can start off at a lower level just to kind of give him some time,
Interesting.
I don't know.
It
depends.
I
If
like
he's hitting hot, it's between him and Joey Vogelback for the position, right? And Vogelback cannot hit, but if he does, it's going a mile.
I ate at a poutine restaurant in Kennewick last summer, Kennewick, Washington, and they had baseball on the radio, and it was the only time in my life that I was disappointed that it was the Mariners because I felt like they had all this Canadian crap on the walls and everywhere, and I even got a maple Coke. And but they were playing the Mariners and not the Blue Jays on the radio. I was really disappointed about that. I felt like it took them down a notch.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. Hey, I saw the Kraken play on TV recently, and I was really surprised and impressed how much the crowd was really loud. And
Oh
into
man,
it.
Seattle is so excited. I mean, the whole Northwest is so excited. Like we have the Canucks up in Vancouver, but like, you know, it's not like Joey's over here rooting for the Mariners, even though Seattle's the closest team to him.
So
So
here's
it's-
Vogelbach batting 211. I grew up in Ontario though, and I grew up in Ontario in the 80s and 90s, right? So
I guess that's fair.
I've been a Blue Jay fan since the first time they made it to a playoff series, and you know,
That's
they got
right.
beat out by
You're-
Kansas City. They
you're
got beat
from
out by Kansas
Letterkenny.
City hard, but you know, I'm old enough, man. I'm from that era. I don't see on here. I haven't seen on here Joey Votto, so I'm not sure if he's even had a at bat yet.
Well, why don't you hit Control F and just search to make sure?
What? I don't know how to do that. No, he's not on here.
I wonder how old he is.
Oh, he's like 37 or something, or
That's not.
he's old.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's getting up there.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I don't see him on here, so he's not had an at bat yet. He's signed. It's probably
He's
working
40.
40, yeah, he's old.
He's a first baseman is what he's listed as for the Blue Jays.
Which is what we don't need. But he's vying for DH between him, Justin Turner. I think Vogelbach is left-handed, swings left, and so does Votto. So Turner's going to get a chance, and one of those two guys probably. That's the thing.
Oh, he signed a minor league contract with the Blue Jays, and he got
Correct.
an invitation to spring training. I see.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But it's Joey Votto, so everyone's really stoked. This week in Fuck Bullshit. There you go. Scientists, my discoveries are useless if taken out of context. Scientists claim their discoveries are useless. There you go. This is Trump shared an AI picture of himself because his religious base is they're worried that he's not religious enough. So he shared this religious picture of himself, and he's got 6 fingers.
You know, instead of just going and taking a picture inside of a church.
Or just, holding a Bible upside down. Anywhere.
Well, the only way that apparently he holds Bibles is by tear gassing people first. You remember that, right?
Yeah, well,
That was
All right.
fun.
There are 4,200 religions in the world, but only one empty tomb. There's only one man he conquered. His name. All right, so you get 1 point for most original lie. I said good one there. I don't know what this is. Holy shit!
Wow, that's incredible.
that is a good one.
I mean,
man.
I'm Christian myself, and like, that's just, I have no words. Like,
if you treat the janitor with the same respect as the CEO, come on, dude, I'm not going to guillotine the janitor.
You know that the guillotine was used once in North America. That was in Saint Pierre and Miquelon or whatever. It's off the coast of Newfoundland. It's the last French colony.
Miley Cyrus made eye contact with an alien. Ooh.
Okay.
Is this like one of those tabloid sites or something? Holy
No,
shit.
this is a group I run called Fuck Bullshit Pro Science Rebel
Oh.
Alliance, and it's a place where like-minded, rational humanists can get together and just kind of laugh a little bit, because what was going on was during COVID, I was just going so crazy by how stupid everybody was being that I kept feeling like I had to counteract it or make fun of them, or and then if I did, then I was like kind of alienating friends and stuff. It's like, well, I need a place. I need to create a place where I can say whatever I want, and all that's there is other people. So some of not everyone shares, but here we go. Israel's tortured some of the employees of UNRWA. So
that would have made a great Hannah Montana episode.
Yeah.
Seeing an alien, yeah.
Based on the amount of pottery fragments alone, the Roman Empire may be the clumsiest empire the history has ever known.
Funny.
Man, have you watched Kunk on Earth? Because that's just the funniest thing. Like it's a fake documentary, and she pretends to be an actual documentary person, and they interview actual, like, it's made by the BBC, and they go and interview actual subject matter experts, but then she'll just ask them the stupidest questions, and it's hilarious. It's on, at least in the US, it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's available in Canada, but give it a look. It's hilarious. It was on YouTube too, I think.
That's good luck breeding those lions.
What's it called?
Well, if the whales can do it,
Yeah.
it's
now
Kunk-
we've
Kunk on Earth.
established this episode that it's natural for whales and lions, for lions to sleep with whales.
That doesn't mean it's going to breed, though. They can have sex, but they won't breed together.
So you're one person out of 7 billion people on one planet out of 8 billion planets orbiting one star out of 300 billion stars in one galaxy out of, what else does it say? Out of 2 trillion galaxies. And and all those odds in this comet just happens to hit you right in the head.
Well, and you, Joey, are the one person out of all these things who don't know how to use Bluetooth headphones on the airplane.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't exist last time I was on Air Canada. And so here you go. It's the only first image of a black hole we'll ever need. And a lot of people can't tell the difference between a black hole and a brown one. It looks like a colonoscopy photo. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's some bullshit news for you this week.
Speechless.
Yep. You've done it, Joey. You won. Well, I'm gonna take off. I have a 3-year-old to put to bed. So good night, everyone.
Whoa! BC Gold Company fined $276,000 in Barkerville for dumping underground waste into a nearby river. Are you fucking crazy? You assholes!
Maybe that's why you can't hear
Underground
Frankie's
waste.
videos right.
Sorry, so Reba, who's grown up in Wells, and a good friend of mine.
Here,
Barkerville, right near you.
we're having a lot of sewage being dumped into the Lake Winnipeg here in Manitoba.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
From Winnipeg, yeah, the pipe underneath the Red River or something burst, and they don't want to fix it. They keep delaying it all the time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fuck. The company is found to have exceeded provincial limits on the release of heavy metals and other toxins 417 times between 2020 and 2021. Maybe that's the last fish I eat out of our lake for a little while.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's right near you.
You know, this is
right?
like, and I'm the one person in town when everyone's like, "Well, we should have a fucking gold mine here. It's a great idea." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
What good will it do us at this point? Look at, it's already a fucking toxic waste dump here." Well, then, they'll make it better if they're here. Only 276,000. That's a joke.
Another picture. Oh, he's smiling. Oops, sorry, I had my mic on. Man, lots of that stuff happening out west.
That's
out in BC. There's a ton of that stuff going on. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I swear the one time we were swimming in Lake Winnipeg, or I wasn't. I already knew they were dumping sewage and everything in there. I swear I saw toilet paper floating in the water. I'm thinking, oh, look at all these people in there swimming in all this filth.
Oh my God.
Nasty. Yeah. Destroying it.
Whoa. Nearly wiped out a patch of ice. I didn't think there would be ice, but
it's icy out there tonight, even here in Brandon. It's supposed to be +4 tomorrow, but all the puddles are getting like a layer of ice over top of them. Pretty crazy. But it's a clear night, so it can cool down quite a bit.
So we were talking about local hockey stuff earlier, and I wanted to mention that I live in a town of only 1,500 people here in Saskatchewan, but we have a men's hockey team. These are guys who are in their 20s and their 30s, still playing hockey because they, don't want to let go. And they play in a league all through Saskatchewan, and they're in the playoffs now. So these guys, they go like crazy at their day job. Then they come evening, they just put everything out there on the ice and try so hard and beat themselves up trying to win these championships in front of, 200 fans. And maybe 500 on a good night in playoffs or something. But it's crazy that they make such a big deal out of it. And not only the players, but the townspeople too. This men's hockey league is so, such a big deal here in this tiny little town for a lot of people. It's just a strange thing about Canada. And I do enjoy going, but I sometimes run into problems where people just make asses out of themselves in the stands. And so sometimes it becomes unpleasant,
Yeah, I saw a recent video, that the fans were all trying to fight with the players there. I don't know if it was Yorkton or somewhere. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Hockey, rough word.
The worst thing is when a whole bunch of high school kids come and they have some leader of the group that is just a jerk. And, that's when it gets really bad. They just behave very poorly and just try to make a spectacle of themselves, when people are there to watch the hockey. But anyway, it happens. That's a Canadian thing. I went to a game of just a minor, the little guys playing hockey to watch one of my relatives.
Yeah.
And this one dad is just yelling at the refs, and the refs are just kids. He's just tearing into them. And I couldn't believe it,
Or like Tim hockey. That's
swearing
crazy.
at them. Yeah,
Jeez.
that's terrible.
They're just having fun. They're just little 8 kids, Jeez.
And these refs are like, grade 10 kind of look to them. And
Wow.
he's just swearing at them,
Yeah, well, if you're gonna do the job, do it fucking right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Anyway.
Look around, kids, find out.
Jeez.
Sorry, I just reading that our local mine that has assured everybody that if their expansion won't cause any more environmental damage to wells than has already been done. Oh yeah, and Joey's a crazy asshole for saying, no, that's actually not what happens in mining all the time. All the time, what happens in mining is contamination gets worse, not better. It's like, so that's what people thought was going to happen here, is that if the mine expands and starts this whole new phase, they're going to clean up the mess from the last go around.
Didn't they learn that?
I find that so hard to believe, because it's just not what's ever happened anywhere.
Yeah.
And literally there's signs less than a block away from my house that say caution, historic toxic mine waste around the baseball field. Kids, don't touch that yellow muck, orange muck. But let's have more mine here. That'll make it better somehow. And Joey, you're just a grumpy asshole in town who just always happens to be right. That's the problem. That's what drives people really fucking crazy about me. is because I'll say what's true, and then I'll be right. Thanks for dumping toxic waste into my lake that I catch fish in. I guess I won't be ice fishing out of the Jack no more for a while. Fuck.
Jeez.
That's so upsetting.
Yeah.
So upsetting. You know, and it's always these things of contention. And it's like, well, it's going to bring jobs. It's good for the town. It's like,
Right.
you know, town was fine 15 years ago. Yeah, it was quieter. You know, we didn't have any budget. But what we need is a large multinational company to expand an old goal working. That's what we need. That's going to make everything better around here.
Well,
So-
I think I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for having me again this week.
Sorry for the rant. Also,
It's okay.
just putting this out there to everybody. Still a place worth fighting for. So I do have contract now with Ministry of Wildfire Service. We're going to base the crew out of our place here. I'm looking for crewmen, so we've already started actively recruiting for our crews this year. If people in Kamloops or in the Caribou who want to deploy out of Kamloops or possibly spend some time here in Wells in the summertime, do contact me. I got some stuff posted on the website. Meant to say more about that earlier, but looking forward. I had nice emergency management planning meeting in town this week. Free dinner and lots of people there, and very positive stuff happening. We had Sally from Wildfire Service here, local commander, and gave a presentation. We had emergency management BC person there. We had our local fire chiefs and CAO and public works superintendent, all that kind of stuff, right? So with our community plan for what to do for emergency. Very positive stuff. And
That's
it got me
good.
excited. It got me excited just for fire season in general. And with Ministry, this is what we're going to end on. Ministry gave us a presentation of 2023 fire season in review. And they're going through this list of, we couldn't have done it without the South Africans coming and the Brazilians coming. And then the American hotshots came and we had Mexicans are the best firefighters on earth. And they're going through this list. And I'm like, man, what about us contractors? We sweat a lot,
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, it said, and also this season, we lost 6 people. Our Tomahawk crew. And I put our boys' names up there. And I said, that's why they didn't individually thank us, because they consider us them.
Yeah.
That was nice. A nice, and not everybody might catch that, but when I got to that part of the video and felt that, and, that was a terrible way for last season to end. Our boys got fucking killed on the highway. And just fist up. Seeing that section of the video, right on. Thank you. We lost 6 people last year. That's right.
When, in a typical year, when would you generally around about start fighting fires again?
Typical year,
Approximately.
July.
Yeah.
Problem is, that's rarely happened. Well, no, it's not rarely happened, but last year I was out early May. I've been on type 2 crews and been out May into September, because the contract's like a 100-day contract or whatever. So for most contract crews, they're probably not seeing a lot of action till July.
Mhm.
And then we especially get used at the end of fire season because Ministry loses so many people to school and whatnot. So September can be a real free for all wherever you end up. Anything can happen. But I mean, it's like that when things get crazy in general. We spent a lot of time last year being left to just go get it done. We're not. And I'm clear about that. Like, I really don't need you babysitting me. Give us the objectives. We'll get it done, boys. Anyways,
Feels to me
sorry.
like
I'm blabbing on.
it's okay. Yeah, feels to me like Alberta often kind of has trouble before BC does in a lot of years. Is that correct?
Sorry, I missed you. What you said, sorry.
Does Alberta often have fire trouble before BC does? That's kind of the feeling I'm getting a lot of years, but it's not always the same.
Yeah. That's often things are very dry in the spring,
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought too.
Lower
elevation
before anything's growing. So what I did was I added Hank Pine to our chat instead of Hank Vlistra because the names were right next to each other, and I obviously
Hank Vlistra's iPhone.
So not Victorian musician Hank Pine, although we would love to have him on as well, I'm sure. But
okay, guys, I'm out.
That's the show.
Yeah, I got to get going too.
That's the show, everybody.
Have a good one.
I'll be there earlier. I forgot about your time change. I know our time doesn't change here.
I know.
I forgot.
Yeah, you're not the only place. It's like Sirdar, BC is like that weird place in Lake Kootenay Lake, where they don't switch times, but it gets really confusing because it's also like on the border of the time zones. So then you don't know which time you're in there, and because they haven't, spring forward or fall back, it gets really confusing. And then at the Sirdar pub back in the day, our band used to play there. They had a clock, but on the clock, the dials were all opposite, right? So that, 3 o'clock was here and 9 o'clock was there relative to you, right? So now you're in a town where you're in a pub where Kootenay time, literally, because you don't know which time zone you're in, if you're in Mountain or if you're in West Pacific, and you don't know if they sprung forward or then you got to calculate that, and then you look up at the clock on the wall and all the fucking hands are backwards. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming around. We'll see you next week.